Sira, he said gently, we should turn back. The expanse is unpredictable after midday. These fault lines. But she cut him off sharply. I am tasked with recovering the ancient beacon before the scavenger clans find it. If you wish to turn back, do so. I will not be slowed by human fragility. It wasn't the insult that made his stomach twist. It was the tiny tremble in her words. She wasn't as confident as she seemed. The Varlith beacon was crucial, a relic from their empire's golden age, rumored to activate hidden archives. Her father, High Warlord Tarkesh, demanded results. If she failed, her honor suffered. And Sira did nothing halfway. She continued marching, her steps heavy, the sand hissing beneath her armored boots. The air shimmered around her, warping in waves. Evan jogged to keep pace, breathing hard. You're overheating, he said firmly. Look at your armor. Your temperature nodes are glowing red. It is merely cosmetic, she scoffed. A bead of clear fluid trickled down the side of her neck, where armor met skin. Varlith did not sweat. Not unless their bodies were in danger. Evan's pulse spiked. Sira, we need shade now. You worry too much. And you ignore reality too much. She stopped abruptly, her tail lifting in irritation. Do not raise your voice at me. Then stop acting like you're invincible. Evan snapped. This desert does not care about your honor. It does not care about your title. It will kill you if you keep pushing. For the first time, her expression faltered. Not enough to make her listen, just enough to sting. She turned away. We continue. Evan clenched his jaw, but followed. He wasn't leaving her alone out here, even if she was being a stubborn idiot. The consequences. An hour later, the first sign of trouble came. A faint rumble. A soft crack beneath their boots. A shimmer in the sand like a mirage taking a breath. Evan froze. Oh, hell. A deep rumbling burst upward with a roar, and a column of blistering steam erupted from the sand not 10 feet from Sira. The shockwave knocked her sideways, slamming her to one knee. The ground turned molten dark, sizzling. She stared at the vent in disbelief. That should not be here. Evan rushed forward, grabbing her arm. Exactly what I warned you about. But Sira didn't stand. She swayed, her pupils shrinking. Her breathing turned sharp. Her tail dragged lifelessly in the sand. He gripped her shoulders. Sira? Sira. Her armor plates had turned from shimmering blue to dangerously dull gray. Overheated. Failing. She tried to speak, but only managed a rasp. It burns. And then she collapsed fully, her weight slamming Evan onto his knees. He was strong, but she was nearly twice his mass. Damn it, Sira. There was no shade for miles. The vent had superheated the ground around them. Staying here meant death. He checked her vitals. Her temperature was rising fast. Varlith bodies handled heat well, but they had a critical threshold. If reached, no. Evan wouldn't let that happen. He tore off his pack, hauling out a thermal blanket and emergency coolant. But applying it here would do nothing. The air itself was scorching. He needed to move her. Evan dug deep, gritting his teeth as he forced himself to his feet with her towering form slung over his back. Every step felt like lifting a ship. You stubborn, impossible alien, he groaned. I told you this would happen. Her head lolled against his shoulder. He staggered across the scorching sands until he spotted a jagged rock formation, an old ridge eroded into knife-like spires. Shade pooled at its base. Perfect. He dragged her there, nearly collapsing with her weight. He eased her down into the shadows, panting heavily. Her armor hissed and sputtered. Her breathing was too fast, too shallow. Sira, he said softly, taking her hand, stay with me. Her eyelids fluttered. Foolish human, she whispered. voice barely audible. I should have listened. He smiled weakly. Yeah, well, you can apologize after you're not dying. Her mouth twitched in something like a pained grin. Evan opened the emergency coolant injector and applied it along the exposed seams of her armor. He soaked the blanket in his own water supply, all of it, and placed it along her chest and neck. The precious liquid evaporated almost instantly, but it bought a few seconds of relief. Seconds he desperately needed. As he worked, she struggled to speak. My father, he warned me of arrogance. I thought your warnings were weakness. It's not weakness to stay alive, Evan said gently. And it's not weakness to listen. She closed her eyes tightly, ashamed. I endangered the mission and myself. You're alive, he said. That's what matters. She swallowed hard. Evan, your water, you used all of it. He shrugged, though his throat was painfully dry. You needed it more. Her eyes widened faintly, not in shock, but in something else entirely. Something that made Evan's chest tighten. And the lesson and the bond. Hours passed. The shade held. The worst of the heat vents died down. Sira's breathing steadied, though she remained weak. Evan stayed beside her the entire time, shielding her with his own body when the wind kicked up hot sand. When the suns finally dipped low, Sira sat up slowly. Her armor had regained some color. Her tail flicked with life again. She regarded Evan quietly, her expression soft, strangely gentle. You saved my life, she said. I told you the expanse was dangerous. I ignored you. He nodded. Yeah. And the consequences, she looked at her arms, still trembling, were nearly fatal. Silence hung between them. Then she bowed her head, deeply. A gesture Evan had only seen Arlithai give to their highest leaders. I was wrong, she said. And I am grateful. Evan blinked. That might be the first time you've thanked a human. She smirked weakly. It is. Do not expect it often. He laughed. She shifted closer, surprisingly close, her massive form casting a long shadow over him. For once, her presence didn't feel intimidating. It felt safe. I judged your species too harshly, she admitted. I thought humans were fragile, reckless, emotional. That's not wrong. She chuckled low, melodic. But you are also loyal, and brave, and willing to sacrifice for others, even when they do not deserve it. Evan felt his ears burn. Come on, I'm just trying to keep you alive. You're my partner. No, she said softly. You are more than that. He swallowed. What do you mean? She looked down at him with eyes glowing not from heat, but from sincerity. When the vents erupted, when death approached, it was your voice I heard. Your warning, your concern. And now. She placed a large hand on his chest, lightly, carefully. I will no longer ignore you. Not your guidance. Not your instincts. Not your presence. Evan's heart hammered. He coughed awkwardly. So, we good now? No more charging into death traps. She smiled. No promises. But if I am foolish again, I expect you to save me. He snorted. That part seems to happen every week. She actually laughed, full, bright, warm. Together they stood, watching the twin suns sink below the horizon. The desert winds cooled. Shadows lengthened across the cracked ground. Sira turned to him one last time. Evan Hale, she said, you are the reason I live, and I will remember your warning, always. He grinned. Good. Because next time, I want you to live long enough to prove me wrong. She shook her head fondly. Human, you have already proven yourself far stronger than I ever realized.